What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So for this horror news update, if you didn't see this headline yesterday, we're going to bring it to you this morning because it did come out late yesterday afternoon, early evening. So Last Chance Motel, Scout Taylor-Compton and Danielle Harris co-directing new horror movie. I mean, and if you don't know who these two are, especially if you don't know who Danielle Harris is, obviously they've been in the horror genre for quite some time, especially Danielle Harris, especially being two of her first movies she ever did was Halloween 4 and 5 from the the original timeline. So you had Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and then she was also, if you don't know, there is some archive footage of her for Halloween 5, The Curse of Michael Myers, but that's only part of the producer's cut. She was not was not included in the theatrical or original release of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. But she's been again, Danielle Harris has been in a number of horror films, whether it's those back in the early 90s. She was also in Urban Legend. She has a small part in there. She was also in Halloween 1 and 2 as Annie, as far as the Rob Zombie films go. So she did play a different role in the Halloween verse. She was also, just again, in various films, Hatchet 2, and the list goes on. Now, if you don't know who Scout Taylor-Compton is, she was in those Rob Zombie films as well, as Laurie Strode. But she's also been some other horror films as well, whether that's Return to Sender. She was also in Ghost House, and again, various other things. Both, I think, can be truly considered scream queens, especially Danielle Harris. She's obviously earned that title, and I would say Scout Taylor-Compton has also earned that title as well. But they are, and if you don't know, they also do a podcast as well, but they are going to be also teaming up for, as it says, co-directing Last Chance Motel. So we're going to take a look at this article, see what the details are, and then wrap it up with our final thoughts. So, horror icons and hosts of Bloody Disgusting's podcast Talk Scary to Me, Scout Taylor-Compton and Danielle Harris are joining forces for Last Chance Motel, a new horror movie. Scout Taylor-Compton and Danielle Harris will not only star as co-leads in Last Chance Motel, but they also co-created the story and co-directed the upcoming feature film project. Last Chance Motel is being developed under Talk Scary Productions and Hillen Entertainment, and it's said to be a, quote, pulse-pounding psychological thriller with slasher elements, end quote. One that, quote, promises to deliver a fresh, blood-soaked addition to modern horror. It's also set to pay homage to classic slashers while injecting a modern psychological twist. So, I mean, that's as long as it feels and is presented as, I guess, a new idea, a new concept, I'm all for that, and I don't mind. If you're going to cherry pick certain aspects of films where it does feel, you give that feel of a slasher film or that feel of something we would have come across in other genres, subgenres, I should say, in horror from like the 80s, 90s, things of that nature. That's fine. However, with that said, I don't want to come into this, especially with these two actresses having both had time in the Halloween verse. I don't want to come into this feeling like I'm watching a spin-off Halloween film and it's just missing Michael Myers, right? I want this to be something obviously fresh, new, and the way they're presenting it, the way they're giving like this, not synopsis of the story, but how the film is going to be portrayed. It sounds like it's not going to be a spin-off of a Halloween film, like that feel. It's going to be something new. So I am going to hold them to that, especially since, as we already mentioned, they have spent significant time, the two of them, in the horror genre, and they should have. I would hold these two to a higher degree of expectations because, again, they've done various films across the horror genre spectrum, so they have an idea of what works, what doesn't work, what fans like, what fans don't like. So there should be no excuse why this shouldn't be somewhat of a successful film. Now, I'm not saying it's going to make $1 billion. I mean, if it did, that's awesome, but I'm not going into it thinking it's going to make $1 billion. So So we have right here the cast for the film includes Shane West, Heather Langenkamp, Monica Kenna, Sierra McCormick, and Zachary Rosen to round out the casting. And there's going to be more. That's just all they have listed here. Last Chance. So we do have a synopsis here. Last Chance Motel follows a newlywed couple whose dream wedding spirals into a bloody nightmare when they uncover that their secluded venue, a desolate motel deep in the Nevada desert, is run by a relentless, bloodthirsty family with dark secrets revealing that one bride's future may not be all that it was promised to be. We're going to come back to the synopsis. Let's just finish up the article. Quote, we've always wanted to create something that speaks to horror fans in a way that that's both nostalgic and fresh, Taylor-Compton said in a statement. Danielle and I have talked about this for so long. We wanted to be more than just Scream Queens. This film is the first step in carving out our own space in horror filmmaking. And again, I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see those who have spent a large portion of their career or the majority of all of their career in horror wanting to take that next step and not just abandon the horror genre, but take the next step as far as being a director, being a producer, being a script writer for horror, because they have so much experience, I think a lot to offer to the genre, especially as we want new films and not just rinse and repeats of what we've already seen. Harris added, this project is deeply personal to us. It's our love letter to horror, gritty, unrelenting, and absolutely terrifying. We want to create films that feel like the ones we grew up on, the kind that stay with you long after the credits roll. This is just the beginning of what we plan to build together. And then here's just a link for their podcast here. I'll put the link of this article in the description of this video below. So if you want to click on this link in order to find their podcast directly, or just go out there and search for it, and then it's just a picture of the two of them together, you can do so. But I want to jump real quickly before we wrap this horror news update up. I want to jump back to the synopsis here, which has me a little hesitant. When we start, a bloody nightmare when they uncover that they are secluded venue, a desolate motel deep in the Nevada desert, is run by a relentless, bloodthirsty family with dark secrets revealing that one bride's future may not be all that it's promised to be. So that's going to lead me to believe that this bride is probably a member of this family who either escaped and got away from this family and what they were involved in and doing. But in the same breath, if she's part of that family and she's brought her new spouse to this venue, then that tells me that you're setting them up to be potentially killed or terrorized, right? But this also feels like, okay, we have another bloodthirsty family out there, probably cannibals of some nature. I feel we've seen this already. I feel we've seen this film before on numerous occasions, whether it was 70s, 80s, or even as early 2000s. I feel we've seen some of this already happening, whether it's in a desert or in the woods, people going on camping trips, and all of a sudden you have, like, for example, like a Wrong Turn. You have this family out there just picking off people and then eating them, right? So I'm hoping I'm wrong. I truly hope I'm wrong. I don't want this to feel again like something we've already seen before. So hopefully we will get, we have no timelines on here as far as when we're going to get a teaser, when we're going to get a full trailer, but we'll keep an eye out on it for this one. When we do, we will obviously review those and do an upload for them and give our takes once we have more information. But as I mentioned, I don't want to see a Halloween spinoff. This doesn't feel like, based on the synopsis, it will feel like because their time in Halloween will bleed into this. However, based on this brief synopsis, I am a little hesitant that we've already seen this before, and that's not what I would expect or want to see from two individuals who have so much horror film experience. So that's going to do it for this horror news update. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about that synopsis for Last Chance Motel. Do you feel like it sounds as if we've seen this film at least one time or plenty of times? I feel like we have. Again, let us know down in the comment section. And if you haven't done so already, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, we will see you at the next one. Peace.